Okay, hi everyone. So today we are going to start the very interesting topic of our Gen AI series. That is the tool calling and AI agents. And with these topics, we are moving towards the more of the creating the system that can take the decision then that can act on your command autonomously rather than just simple text generation task. So that's the today's discussion we are going to have. And so let's discuss like what we have covered so far. So far we have understand like what are the different techniques in the generative AI. So for example, we have covered the prompt engineering, then we covered the context engineering, and then we covered the RAG in our last session, and we had a demo as well for that. And so far, the core capability of the AI system was generating the responses. Yeah, there were different techniques we have utilized in order to improve the response from the AI, like uh, prompt engineering and context engineering. When we want to add our AI system with the latest information, it may be through the RAG or by any other system, but the core idea of whatever we have discussed so far was we are giving the some input to the LLM, and the LLM is going to generate the response based on that input. So better will be the input, better will be the output. So far, that is the concept at the core level. But now we have to move further from just normal text generation. So what is that? Tool calling and the AI agents. So in tool calling, we will empower the AI system that can take action on behalf of us. It can be like it can have access to the external tool or external API in order to do that action. And AI agents will be the more powerful or more improved version of the tool calling. So AI agent will be like autonomous system that can take action as per your given goals. So if you have to just give a goal to your AI agents, then it's up to that AI system that it will decide how to achieve it. If there is multiple way to achieve it, it will decide which way is the better for me depending upon the resources available. So in nutshell, we will be moving from passive intelligence to the active intelligence. And to understand this, we need to have idea of the tool calling and the AI agents. So now, so far, as I already explained that whatever we have learned so far, for example, the LLMs can give you the answer. It can generate a text for you, and it can retrieve the knowledge as for you. And that is also like I won't say that is a primitive skill, but it's a great skill. But still, there is a scope of the improvement. But now we want AI to search the data for us based on our query. We want the AI to call an API. For example, if I say that, okay, I want to book a order for me. So I want LLM to book that order for me. And for that, it should able to call an API. I want AI to send mails for me, book meetings for me, and execute some workflow if I am working in some enterprise use case. So that's where tool calling and AI agents comes into the picture. So this is a like we can say clearly shifting from knowledge to the doing. So this is where the modern AI creates the real impact. We are creating a system that can work on behalf of us. But yeah, there will be like human in the loop whenever we have to decide some critical steps where the impact will be the critical. So now question is that why do we need these systems? Why do we need AI to take action behalf of us? The answer is simple. LLM alone is isolated. It predicts the text, but it cannot do the things actually for you. For example, if you want to ask like what is the weather in the Delhi right now? So if I am having LLM alone, it won't be able to give me the answer because in training data, it may not be there. Even if I am using the LLM today, this training of the LLM will be done before the data I am using now, right? And that's why it will not be having the access to the real time data. So that's where the LLM is become isolated. And in order to give the answer, because it's a device, like you have to give input, you have to take the output. So in order to give you the output, it will be ending up in hallucinating you. So that's why we need something that can feed our LLM with the live data. Although we are having the RAG pipeline, and RAG pipeline was also doing the same thing, but there's a difference where in the RAG pipeline, if you are able to recall yesterday's session, we were having a sequential flow of data, like from user query we were going to the embedding, then we are going to the vector store, then we are hitting the LLM. So LLM was the last part, but when we are giving a tool, so here we are giving more power to the LLM. So LLM will decide whether I have to use a tool or not. So if you want to use RAG into the tool, then you have to convert your RAG system or RAG architecture that we discussed yesterday into a wrapper of tool, and then you have to pass it to your LLM as a tool. Then also, like, you can say that, okay, I am using RAG as a tool in order to get my live data. So this is the RAG will be useful if your live data is in the form of the documentations. But if your live data is in the form of some external systems, like weather API, or some, like, you have to book some meeting or take some action, then it tool should not be RAG, it should be in form of the API. So that's the like minute difference between, like, if I say, okay, we were using RAG and now we are calling the tool, and both are using the live data. So that's the minute difference you should know before going into in depth. So that's where, like, tool calling becomes critical, because LLM doesn't have the access to the live data, cannot call the API, cannot perform the real world actions, and cannot interact with your database, and cannot execute your workflow as well. And in order to make your LLM really intelligent, you have to give access to your external world. And in terms of the AI, or in terms of the IT world, right, the external world is nothing but the internet, API, database, tools, or different kind of systems. So that's where we will be making our LLM more intelligent with the help of the tool and agents. So now, what is the tool calling? Now we are going into in depth. So far we know that why we need it, and what it can do it, and how it is different so far, whatever we discussed. So now tool calling is nothing but that it LLM decide when to use external tool, function, or API. For example, there might be chances you are having an LLMs and you are asking a general question, what is AI? So that AI definition will be there within the LLM, because in training data it might be there. So LLM can decide, okay, for this particular query I don't need any AI agent or any AI tool. So he will generate the response for that particular query through the internal knowledge that has been learned through the training. But if it feels like, okay, for that particular information I need to use external tools or API, then it will decide. So tool calling gives the LLM the external capability. A human brain, it's similar to, like, human brain cannot calculate a huge numbers instantly. So for that he needs some calculator, right? So it's similar to that. Like, human brain is a kind of LLM and calculator is a tool. So it's just a simple analogy. And in the similar analogy, we are having the tool. Like, for example, LLM is a brain, and hands and instrument tool will be acting as a tool. So LLM uses the tool in order to do the real world action. In the similar way, we human being uses the different tools in order to accomplish our task. So tool calling empowers the LLM to take the action beyond just generating the text. So that's the gap we are bridging between the knowledge and the action. So this is what the tool calling is in the technical sense. And if we move forward, so now let's understand, like, what is the, like, core component or architecture of the tool calling. So these are, like, just a high level architectures or component of the tool calling flow, and they are susceptible to be changed depending upon the use case. But these are the, like, main component. There would be some user query, because every system in AI will be started with the user query. It can be a user query, or it can be some kind of trigger or system trigger, but there should be some trigger for the AI system. So then it will directly going to the hit the LLM. And if you can remember the RAG, in RAG we were not directly hitting the LLM, we were directly hitting some vector database there, and LLM was the, like, second last part. And here, like, we are directly hitting the LLM with the user query. Then LLM analyze the query and decide which tool to use. and it will be having a set of tool, and it will select the right tool or right API as per your query, and then it will be fetching the data from that external sources. It can be anything. It can be your data sources, it can be your RAG tool, or it can be your simple API, and then it will be passing this data again to the LLM in order to generate the final response, and then LLM will be generating you the final response. So the flow will be there will be a question, there will be the decision be done by the LLM, then there will be an action, and then there will be the results, and then there will be the response. So this is how AI moves from understanding to the doing. So it will try to understand your query, then it will try to take the decision. Okay, based on your query, what will be the optimal tool I can use in order to achieve the goal or the task you have given to me, and then like it will be generating the final response there. So this is the core architecture behind the modern AI assistants. So now let's discuss the tool calling in terms of the context engineering. And I told you in the session where we were discussing the context engineering that context engineering is a huge part, like huge, I would say, division, and everything we will be learning after that, directly or indirectly, they will be the part of this context engineering. For example, RAG is also part of a context engineering, and different technique of the like memory, API, and tools. And now how API and tools are the part of the context engineering, because if you can recall the anatomy of at uh, prompt, where we are having a section of the context, so sometimes it might be the chances that the tools is just fetching the information from the external tool or API and fitting this information into the context part of your prompt template, and then this template will be going to the LLMs. So this can be the simple workflow of a simple tool calling system, and this is the part of the context engineering if you try to recall or match the logic there. So context sources can be anything, like it can be the RAG documents, it can be the memory, it can be the tool or user history as well. But the only difference over here is we are giving power to the LLM to decide which context sources to be used for the extraction of the context, and then like we will be doing further operations, like it will try to like take the decision, it will try to analyze the already taken decision, and it will create a loop and till the time it doesn't reach its goal, and after that it will render the response to the users. So tool calling is not just an action, it's the key part of the context engineering. And this and the motto for that is like more relevant response, real time knowledge, and better decision and outcome. So whatever the technique we are discussing, we have discussed, and we are going to discuss, uh, main motto or main goal is only like have the better decision, better outcome, and like to improve the AI system. That's it, right? So tool calling is, you can say that it's actually part of the context engineering, because tool output inject fresh dynamic information into the model context, and that's how like it works.
Yeah, good afternoon. So I have a doubt like output returned by the tools to the LLM. What would be the format of that?
It would be the JSON format most of the time, and if you have some different kind of API, then you have to check your what we call the server side schema and the client side schema of your API. But most of the time it will be in the JSON format.
And how does LLM decide like it has to call a tool multiple times or multiple tools at a time? I mean to say, I want to understand this loop of uh,
Yeah.
LLM to API calling, API calling to LLM, and all this. When this loop will end, and when generation part will start.
Okay. So to answer this question, whenever we are giving the task to the LLM, uh, LLM will act on that query in a way, in a reactive way. So you know the React framework, right? It will try to divide your main goal into the subtask, and this task will be very similar. For example, if you are saying that okay, uh, I want to let's say I have like for example. some amount of like apple, and I want to give 2 apple to my neighbor, and then I want to like buy some 10 more apple. So now tell me what will be the how many apple I'm having, right? So first LLM will divide these things into a simple task. Okay, first like I have total apple this, then I have to do the subtract operation, then I have to do a addition operations. Then it will decide, okay, first task, do I need a task tool for me? I have 10 apple, no. Then I have to perform a subtract action. And how it will get to know I have to have a subtract operation, because the LLM will be having a set of tools, and each tools will be having some description about that tool, that what this tool can do or what it cannot do. So based on that it will decide, okay, I have to perform the subtraction operation, I have to use this calculator tool. Then it will go to the next task. Okay, I have to do that uh, addition operation. Then it also will check, okay, for addition operation which tool I can use. It will go to the description of each tool and then decide, okay, this is related to the calculator tool, then okay, I will use this tool. And then it will decide, and that's how it will decide, okay, whether to use a tool multiple time or one time. I hope I gave you an answer.
Yeah, yeah, it is correct. And yesterday, when we studied about this retrieval strategies and retrieval part, documentation, chunking, and that part, that will happen before tool calling.
Whatever we discussed yesterday, that was a part of the RAG architecture, and there like we have defined a rigid workflow, if you can recall, right? Like the
Yeah.
query first will go to the like retriever or embedding and vector store, right? Then it will go to the LLM. So now, for example, if you are asking a LLM, right? What is the casual leave I am having, right? So LLM will decide, okay, this is related to the internal enterprise data, so I need to hit a tool that can give me the knowledge about the HR policy, right? And then whatever the architecture we were having yesterday, you have to wrap this architecture under a Python function, and then you have to
Mm,
create a tool. So and you have to
mm.
create a description. Okay, query related to the HR tool or enterprise, you can hit that tool. So now this query will be hitting that tool, and this tool inside will be having the same architecture.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
sort of a wrapper. I can.
Yes, yes.
With
If you want
this.
to use
Okay.
RAG as a tool, you have to create a wrapper of your tool or function on the top of the RAG architecture.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So anybody else has question? Okay. If no, like we can move to the demo part, and it will be just a simple demo. Let me know when my screen is visible to you. So here, like again, like I will be using the OpenAI key, and I'm just using the OpenAI as a library and things. So these are the like I'm just activating it. So I'm just initiating the client, and this thing I'm hoping like you must be knowing that. And here like I'm just creating a demo tool, like in the real time it can be an API tool, it can be like RAG pipeline, but everything you have to write under a function, Python function. For example, I am creating a dictionary over here, and in the real time you can create a request, HTTP request to some external sources using the request module of the Python, and you can return the output of that that API over here. Like I'm just returning the output of the value of a dictionary over here. So it's just like I am trying to replicate the real time API scenario through the Python function here. I think like we all are familiar with that. So I'm just initiating that tool over here, and just I'm also like creating the another tool, like this is like my weather function tool. And the another tool is I'm just creating a calculator, like if something LLM decide that okay, I have to do some mathematical operation, he can achieve like this kind of things over here. So I'm just creating a calculator function over here. Now like we have to define a tool definition over here, and this is the like answer like uh, 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 to your question, Palak, right? How LLM will decide. So we have to define the description for each tool over here. For example, this get weather. is the name of a tool, and this is the description for that. And then like it will, we will be providing the what kind of parameter it may require as a input, and what will be the like output it should look like. And then the another tool we are having the calculator, and what is the description for that, and what is the input required, and what is the output. So better will be this one, and it is similar to the prompt. So better you will be able to define your tools, so better will be the tool calling by your LLMs. So that's how like I have created a tools, and I defined these tools that I have created so far. And if in the real world, like there might be some external data or external things required here, that you may need to give some API or external sources as well in the tools description as well. So now like I'm just starting the main loop. Like for example, if I'm asking the user query, what is the weather into the Delhi, and I'm going to ask like, and this is the response, like this is the standard syntax to receive the response from the OpenAI like client. We already created the client in above cell, and then we are using this completion is nothing but taking the text response from the LLMs, and we are selecting this model, and we are passing this message over here as a content user query. And where this is there, we are calling giving the tools. So in the parameter, like what are the tools it can access, so this is the tools it can access. And the tool choice is auto, like it depends on the LLM which tool to call at which query. So and then I am writing this code, and this code I'm writing just to show you that I can show you that which tool is getting selected and which not. Otherwise, like you can directly get the response from this single line of command only. You don't need to write this kind of code. So I'm just running this cell over here, weather in API. So it's like this, see, like it's checking the tool selected is the get weather, and the arguments extracted from the user query is like Delhi, and it's giving me this one, right? This response, like this is the 28 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's how guys like we can do the tool calling. So the only thing you need to keep in mind that you have to define the tool over here under the Python function, and you have to define the definition. The better will be your tool definition, better the LLM will be having the understanding for your tools, and then it will be giving you the response as we seen that. And this kind of code you don't need to write. I just written over here just to give you the like, just so that I can show you that which what kind of tool it selected, and how it whether it able to extract the proper argument or not. And then like I checked, like put this tool over here only for one tool, and you can do the same thing for other as well, but you don't need to do that in the real time scenario. Now we have covered the tools, like we are having the tool, and our LLM is having access to the different kind of tools, and based on that it can call them on the based on the user query, and whatever the response it will get from these tools, and it can feed back to the LLMs, and it will generate a response for you. Now we are moving, like we want to do much more, like we are moving from the reasoning part as well. So what is the AI agent? So AI agent is much more than the simple tool calling. So it can think, it can decide, it can plan and take multiple action iteratively in order to get your goal that you have given. So uh, example is very simple. Like for tool calling, if just I have to ask like what is the weather in the Delhi, it will call a tool and can give me the response. So this is just a tool calling. So what if I ask like, okay, plan a trip for me and book the hotel for me and give me the budget as well. So this is a high level goal we have given to the LLM. Now LLM has to like do the reasoning, like okay, he had to plan a trip, then he has to ask, okay, where you want to go, right? So then he will ask the question from the user, like where you want to go. Let's say if I say I want to go the Goa or somewhere else, then okay, it will take, okay, I will plan for you. Then it will do the reasoning, okay, you want to go the Goa, and you will be requiring the booking of the hotel as well, and then you ask the budget as well. Then it will ask the dates as well, because it's reasoning over over it. So it will be gathering the all the required information from the user or from the another systems in order to uh, complete its reasoning. And after reasoning it will be coming uh, up with plan, right? So plan can be, okay, we are having the dates, we are having the destinations, we are having your priority of your hotels, we are having the clarity on what kind of activity you want to perform over there. So it will be the having all the details in the reasoning part, and then it will be having it will be doing the planning based on your plan, right? Okay, that day you will be the going there, and that day you will be resting there, that day you will be the, performing this activity at this particular time. So it will be having the planning, right? And based on that planning, it will try to look at the tools definition, right? And that its tool definition, it will be the having the different kind of tools. So it will check, okay, I have a dates, I have to book the flights or train depending upon the user choice. Okay, then it will go to the tools descriptions. Okay, do I have any tool that can book ticket for me? If it is there, then it will use that tools. So after that, then it will go, okay, I have to book the hotels also. So now it will go and check whether do I have any tool that can book a hotel for me. Then it will book the hotel as well. And this is the part of like similar to the uh, tool calling as well. So what it makes it different from the tool calling, that is the memory. So we are attaching the memory as well to the tool calling, so it becomes the agents. So what is the meaning of the memory? So whatever the question you have asked, so it will be having the context of your history, and accordingly it will be behaving. So now, so that's why it's the agents, and the agents are considered to be like act autonomously in order to achieve your task. So so agent don't just respond, so they achieve the goals as well. So they can think, they can decide, they can plan, they can act, and they can iterate as well. For example, if while booking the hotels, he may find that, okay, you are like 3-star hotels are not available at this particular date, can we explore some other option as well? So that's the part of the iterate. So it will be learning, and if you say that, okay, no, I just want to like at least 3-star hotels there, so it will be learning in the memory. Okay, if next time you will ask me to book an hotel, I will not ask this question for you from you. I will be having in my memory that you always love 3-star plus hotels. So that's how agent is like kind of your personal assistant that will be having all the information, all your habits in the memory, so that it can be act as in a friendly manners. So this is like we are having the agents. And if we go further, so this is again like how AI agents work. So a continuous cycles of perceiving, deciding, acting, and learnings comes into play when we have to discuss about the agents. So the power comes like with the autonomous. It the agent are having, because they operate independently to achieve the goal, and they are very goal driven. Like you have to give the goal, and that's it. Then it's up to on the AI agents that how to fulfill that particular goal that you have given. And they are very adaptive as well. Adaptive means that they will be having your preference, they will be having your what you like, what you don't like, and accordingly they will be the acting. And they are very scalable, because AI agents can be the specialized in a particular way. For example, you can have a AI agents that are specialized in booking the hotels only. So this particular agent will be having the all the tools, all the API that can book hotels for you. Then there will be some different specialized agent that is like for trip planner. Like, so it will be having access to the all the internet data, all the articles, all the things that can decide you, that can recommend you what are the activity you can do at a particular location and at a particular time. So they are very scalable, because they can be handled, or they can be act as a in a specialized manner. And then they are very reliable. And why they are reliable? Because they reason the things, they plan the things, and whenever they think that they need more information, they ask the thing as well, rather than guessing the things. So that's how they becomes more reliable. And they are like they are being used across the industry, like in customer supports. You can see that like a chatbot over there, and this chatbot at the back end have a lot of like, you can say, multiple AI agents there. And under multiple AI agents there are some specific tools. For example, if you are asking about like query with respect to some product category, so there will be like a to a specialized agent that will be the handle the like, okay, we will be the handle only this particular category of the product we are launching. And then there will be another AI agents that will be the giving the specialized in terms of you if you are having some issue or concern or grievance to raise with respect to their complaint other things. And then a lot many agents can be there depending upon their use case. And in e-commerce also we are using the lot there in recommendation most of the times. And in finance industry in most of the time in monitoring the marketing, analyzing the trend and executing the trades. uh, but there we have to keep the humans into the loop because it's related to the finance and decision has to be verified by the human beings. And in software industry and development we know it very well, like we are having a lot of AI agents that can write code on for us. For example, Copilot is also a specialized agent that can write a code for us. And then email management is also there. For example, Copilot 365 is there that can have all the detail. You just ask the question from that, okay, what are the pending mails are there I need to take action on this week. It will give you all the details. It will triangulate through your emails, through your chats, Teams chat, and it will give you the answer for that. So AI agent don't just assist, they understand you, they decide and act to deliver the real outcomes. So that's how the AI agent works. And moving forward, like let's it's a high level idea, like now what is the difference between the a tool calling an AI agent. So there very minute difference will be there. Like from the technical standpoint of view, you may think that they are almost similar, but the only difference is that like tool calling is kind of a single step. Like you will be giving the input, you will be taking the output. But AI agent is the multi-step reasoning. So it can iterate over multiple time. Like it can select same tool multiple time. It can uh, use multiple tools in order to achieve the goals as well. And tool calling is a reactive, so you have to give the query and based on that query it will decide. But agent is something goal oriented. For example, if you ask like a tool calling agent, like just a simple tool calling planet trip for me, it there are high chances that it may not hit any of the tools because the planet trip may not satisfy any of the tool description. But AI agents is different, so they will understand, okay, if I am to plan a trip, in what is there in planning a trip. It can be like traveling, it can be like stay, it can be activity. So it will understand and then it will decide, okay, these are the like hidden tools I can use in order to fulfill that goal. And then the limited workflow, because the workflow is very sequential, like limited workflow is there. But here we are having autonomous workflow, so you don't need to command exclusively, okay, use this particular tool, or you don't have to give a hint in terms of your context. For example, in our demo I gave the hint, right? Okay, what is 242? So it's an indirect hint to the LLM. But it's we don't have to do it with the AI agent. So in AI agents we can directly talk like we used to talk with the human beings and they will understand it. So this is like, and then multiple tool can be used within the AI agents. And the tool calling is more specific to the one tool, although like we can have multiple tools there. But again then there will be like more of refined. For example, if you want to add 10 or 15 tools to one LLM, then there might be some issue in the scenario of the ambiguity. So that's how think of the tool calling as using a single tool on demand. If you want to do it in a proper way or in efficient way, I'm not saying that from technical standpoint you can use only one tool. You can add like a number of tool in the tool calling, but they will not work as efficient as AI agent. So and AI agents is something like having a plan and using the right tool at right time in order to achieve the goal. So that's the like a minute difference between the tool calling and AI agents. And now the question is that why AI agents matter? Because whenever like AI agents comes into the play, they are coming with like automations. They have capability of having the decision in better way. They can consider multiple dimension in order to take the decisions, and they can work on the multi-step workflow, and they are like highly independent. So that's why like as per the industry they are more kind of giving the returns on the investment. So that's why like more of the people are, more of the enterprise I would say, going into or investing into the AI agents to get the higher productivity and better outcomes and the lower cost. When I say the lower cost, it's like not it's only in the some scenario where like you think that okay, uh, uh, for example, if I am having a tech support team, but the tech support team can have a limited time availability, but if you create a chatbot, that will be available at 24 and 7. So in that way, like it will be lowering the cost and improving the better customer experience. And then the scalability is also like a part. Like if you want to add a new team, like let's suppose you wanted to create a new department that will be solving the query related to your some product issue. So instead of hiring a team, you can do a kind of POC. Okay, just create a chatbot and see how many people hit that chatbot, and based on that we can decide whether we need a team for that or not. So such kind of things or POC or in the business decision can be made through the AI agent as well. So we are heading like from assistant to the autonomous systems. So that's the like real crux of this AI agents. So they are not the next step, they are just happening right now. Like whatever you see around us in the AI, if they are like having the capability in some specialized field, there will be like AI agents under the hood. So yeah, that's the AI agents we are having. And to achieve that, now we are going into the more of the technical sense. To achieve that, there are different frameworks. For example, LangGraph, CrewAI, AutoGen, and each frameworks has its own benefit and cons. Like for example, if you want to have total control with a granular level control of your AI agents and their behavior, and you will be going to the LangGraph site. But if you want to create a agent very quickly and do the POC, and then you can go to the CrewAI and AutoGens. So this is the main difference, and this is highly depends upon your use case. If your use case is very simple and you just have to give the input and take the output, then CrewAI and AutoGen is the best framework for you, because they are very quick and they demand very less expertise of in terms of the understanding of the coding and the framework. But if you want granular level control, you want more deterministic approach in your response, and then LangGraph will be the your way, but it will be the time taking, and the skills required for that will be the bit higher comparing to the other frameworks. So this is the like high level system that can be like, there will be a LLM. The first layer will be the LLM from the technical aspect, and then there will be some agentic framework you have to use, and then you have to have some tool calling or integration plan as well, and then you have to have set up some environment as well, so that you can store long term short term memory for your agents. And that's like core part of the like when you have to design the agents. But there are many things that you have to check before and after of that. We call it guardrails. And then the monitoring will be the another parts that that doesn't comes under the agents, but it will become under the AI system designing. So these are the frameworks simply building the production grade agents. And for our demo, we will be using the LangGraph as a framework. So yeah, uh, that's about the frameworks. And now let's move to the next time. So this is like key takeaway so far. Like, so AI is evolving from responding to the request to achieve the real-time goal. So we were having the tool calling. So tool calling is nothing but we are giving the external capability to our LLM, and then we are having the context engineering. So this is like smart inputs. We are giving the very smart inputs, very qualitative inputs to the LLMs. And there are different techniques, like RAG is one of them, agentic RAG, knowledge graph, etc. Now and then the agents, like this is autonomous systems. They plan, reason, take action, and achieve goals independently. Independently means doesn't mean that they don't require any other input, but you can control it. Like you can have human in loop, and you can have completely independent system as well. So they understand, they call the tool, they add the context, they think, and then they act, and then they decide the outcomes. So that's the like today's takeaway from this session from the agent point of view. I think we can move to the demo. So guys, I'm creating a agent over here, and this will be like activity planner agent, and we are going to use the LangGraph. So goal of this AI agent will be like AI agent plan the activity for a given destination, and it estimate the tool cost as well, like the total cost as well. So there will be like two tools we will be creating, and these will be like dummy tools, not the actual tools. But once you have the idea about the dummy tools, you can easily create like when you will be working in the real-time scenario. So there will be like one activity selector tool and then the cost estimator tool. And the features will be like we will be using the OpenAI LLMs, we will be using the LangGraph for agent, we will be using the tool calling and multi-step reasonings. So this will be the like kind of capability for that AI agent. So I'm just importing the right libraries over here. So I'm using the LangGraph, and this is the state graph. Some of the things you may feel that like you don't have context, you don't have like any prior discussion so far, but like this, that's okay. The goal of the demo is like just to show you the capability of the AI agents in a primitive terms. So these are like state graph, like it's related to the LangGraph terms, when like you can't explain right now in this short time, but it's just like uh, LangGraph is a framework, and in LangGraph you have to create a agent using the LangGraph, and whenever you have to pass a input to the graph, that will be the form in the form of the state, and state is nothing but the input and output of each node of the graph. And then like we are using this messages, and just to this is the like default format of the lang chain to receive the format. And then like different create a react agent, like I gave you the one in one of the answer that LLM use the React framework in order to decide the which tool to use when. So I think I already imported it, and then I am inserting my API key over here. Now I'm just like creating a tool over here, activity selector tool. So here like I'm creating a Python function, and this Python function will take a destination as a input, and then based on the activity it will like destination, it will give us a list of the activity that we can perform. So here, like I'm just, for example, if I pass Goa as a input, so I have attached a dictionary like Goa, and this output will be like beach, visit, winter. So it's just a dummy function I have created in order to like just replicate the real-time scenario of the activity selector. So I'm using the Python decorator over here to convert this Python function into the AI tools. And in the last demo you have seen that we were defining the tool in different way. Now we are defining the tool into different way. So these are the different ways where you can define the tool. It depends upon your choice which way you want to have. And the another one, like I'm just creating a cost estimator. So here like I'm just creating a very simple, so it will be random, like it will be like having your destination and it will be generating some random number between like 5,000 to 25,000 as a budget estimation. So it's just a simple function, and I created this function into a tool using the this Python decorator over here. So now I'm loading the AI model over here. So this is the AI model. Oh, why? I think I need to create a list. Let me check. Yeah, and I think it's working now. Now we are creating now we have like created a list of the tools that like these are our tools, and now we are like using the binding operation over here, binding tool. So I'm passing the list of the tools over here, and now like I'm creating an agent, right? So which I'm creating a react agent over here. So this is like very simple. In the LangGraph you can just use the inbuilt function over there, and you can pass the tool over here as well, right? So here like I'm passing this agent over here as a list of the tool, and then like you can take a response. For example, this is the agent I'm having over here, and this like I'm invoking it, and now I'm passing like, okay, plan a vacation and estimation cost for me for the Goa. And if I run over here, so it will give me the response, right? So final response, like you for your Goa vacations, there are some activity you can check, breach, visit, this, and the estimation cost will be like it's giving me random output of that. And you can ask like anything also, like for example I asked the Goa, and you can ask for Jaipur as well. So you can see that it will be giving all the activity that are there in the list only. It will not use its internal knowledge. And if I put it here, Jaipur, so here like visit historical fort, explore the local market and enjoy the street food tour. And it will be the similar to that one, street food tour, right? So that means like it is not using its internal knowledge. Otherwise it could have like given some other response, and you can see that it also giving me the response, and response with this budget estimation, it will always be between 5,000 to the 25,000. And I haven't shown you right here like what will be the tool called, what will be the like parameter extracted from this response, because I just used this one response and dot content. In the last demo I just wrote the code just like in a hard coded way with respect to a particular tool, so that I can show you that the tool is being called or not, and what are the parameter are captured or not. But you don't need to write that code. You can directly like go to the final response and get your like final response and content, and you will be getting the final response that has been generated from the LLM. And now this is like the agent we have created. And if you remember that this is also the one of the way that LLM, so this is the example of the tool calling. So this is like this, if I use this LLM with tool to invoke something, then like it will be a tool calling. But if I'm using this agent create like this react agent, then it will be a agent. It's not a tool calling. Now it has the capability of reasoning. But now this one, if this template, if you use this tool like this tool and don't invoke or don't create template, then it will be a simple tool calling things for you. So that's the like motto of you to showing that from the coding perspective or implement point of view. So this is like tool calling, and this is creation of the agents. So that's about the demo, guys.
I want
Right.
to know one thing. Yeah, for this a small demo of LangGraph, it is really good to know it in detail and to have create the system in the production. We need more knowledge, right? So can you share some reference resources?
I would
It's
say like to learn like
yeah,
better in a better way this LangGraph, like whatever the frame you want to learn. See, better way is like go to the documentation of these frameworks. So if you go to the
okay,
documentations, and there will be like GitHub links at like they will be having under their documentation, and in GitHub links there will be like cookbooks. So they will be having very simple code for you written, and then there you can understand it like, and there you will be understanding it more by doing the
okay,
hands-on
okay,
on those notebooks. Yeah.
okay. Thanks.
All right then. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ashish, for
everyone.
the session.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye.